Have you ever wondered about the miracle of Jesus feeding the multitude with just 5 loaves and 2 fish? Picture this: a serene freshwater lake in northern Israel, the Sea of Galilee. In a remote area nearby, a large crowd begins to gather, drawn by the profound teachings of Jesus. The air is filled with a sense of anticipation and an undercurrent of excitement. But as the sun starts to dip below the horizon, a concern begins to ripple through the disciples. As evening approached, the disciples started worrying about how they were going to feed this massive crowd. With just 5 loaves and 2 fish, the situation seemed impossible. The daylight was fading, and as the shadows lengthened, a sense of unease started to settle in. A multitude had gathered, their hearts ablaze with the words of Jesus, but their bellies echoed with hunger. The disciples, aware of the impending problem, looked at their meager supply, 5 loaves and 2 fish. It was a pittance, not nearly enough to feed the multitude. But in the midst of this seemingly impossible situation, there was a calm. Jesus, with an air of divine serenity, took the loaves and the fish. In his hands, these humble offerings seemed to take on a new significance. He looked up to the heavens, blessed the food, and then began to break the loaves and divide the fish. And then, something miraculous happened. As he divided the food, it didn't diminish. Instead, it multiplied. From just 5 loaves and 2 fish, there was food enough for everyone. The multitude ate and was satisfied. The hungry were fed, the weary were refreshed, and the doubting were filled with awe. And when everyone had eaten their fill, there were still leftovers. 12 baskets full of fragments were gathered, a testament to the divine abundance of this miracle. It was a demonstration of God's limitless provision, a sign that even in the face of impossibility, there is always hope. Not only were the people satisfied, but there were also leftovers, emphasizing the abundance of God's provision. But what does this miracle teach us? What are the key messages from this story? Let's delve deeper into the lessons embedded in this narrative. Firstly, we see the significance of faith and trust. Despite the seemingly impossible situation, the disciples' trust in Jesus led to the feeding of the multitude. This reminds us to place our trust in God's power, even when faced with insurmountable odds. Secondly, this event underscores Jesus' compassion. He saw the physical and spiritual needs of the crowd and responded with kindness and empathy. This encourages us to show the same compassion and care to others. Thirdly, the miracle emphasizes the concept of divine abundance. Not only were the people fed, but there were leftovers, showing God's ability to provide more than we can imagine. Lastly, beyond the physical food, this story symbolizes the spiritual nourishment that Jesus offers. His teachings and presence feed our souls, providing spiritual sustenance. And so, the feeding of the multitude with just 5 loaves and 2 fish is not just a story of a miracle, but a powerful illustration of divine grace, compassion, and the profound impact of Jesus' ministry.